Hi, everybody. Happy Good Friday or happy regular Friday. I am working today. My husband has the kids. I'm very lucky that I can, have a quiet day in the office, but I am still working because I wanted to continue the conversation that we started last week about Facebook and privacy settings and the implications for nonprofits and how we can kind of work together to make the world a better place and make you feel more secure with your data and what you're doing on Facebook. So I'm Julia Campbell. I help nonprofits build their movements and create their online communities using social media and online tools. And today we're going to talk about spring cleaning your Facebook profile, spring cleaning your Facebook page, tightening up some of your privacy settings and data settings on your Facebook profile if that's something you're interested in. I just want to take a second and say that I really appreciate all the comments, all the shares, all the conversation that happened last week when we discussed should we delete our Facebook accounts? Is it time for nonprofits to break up with Facebook? What are the ethical implications of nonprofits fundraising on Facebook? We touched on a little of that, all of that last week. So if you're interested in watching that, just go to my Facebook page, go to the videos tab, and check it out there. I'm still monitoring the comments. I'm still monitoring the questions. I'm still paying attention to what's going on in that conversation. So thank you all. It was really, really fantastic. Also, I'd really like to know your thoughts now that a week has passed. There have been so many more developments in this unbelievable story, some of which we'll talk about today. Obviously, we are watching this on Facebook Live or maybe YouTube because I do put it on YouTube after. But regardless, if you're watching it on Facebook or not, are you considering deleting your Facebook account? Do you think that it's going to make any difference if you delete your Facebook account? Do you think that, are you going to delete other social media accounts? Are you going to look at the way that you approach social media differently? I'd be really interested to know. So let me know, kind of in the comments, let me know what you think. So what's going on this week? What's the latest? So the latest that I've heard just from yesterday is that a lot of celebrities are making this big show of pulling off Facebook. Of course, celebrities and big companies, they almost have an advantage because there are so many other social media platforms they could be on. And if you're pulling off Facebook and you're not pulling off Instagram, which is basically Facebook Lite, it's owned by Facebook, then you're kind of a little bit of a hypocrite, in my opinion. So I think you've either got to go all or nothing in this place. But Will Ferrell, made a big show of deleting his account. Playboy is going off there. Elon Musk deleted the Tesla and SpaceX accounts, and everyone's kind of making a big show of deleting Facebook. So I just think that it still remains to be seen. Apparently, Facebook has not been negatively impacted in terms of user growth. Their stock price certainly has taken a huge hit, and obviously their public reputation, which they've built up, and their trust is completely eroded. So those are two huge things. Also, they made a big announcement where they said they're going to make privacy controls easier to find, easier to handle, easier to use. And they said they're going to give users a simpler way to access and download their data in case they do want to leave Facebook. And we're going to talk about that today. Also, Zuckerberg said that he is willing to testify before Congress. So that's probably going to happen. There'll be hearings. I'm willing to bet there's going to be a lot of legislation or a lot of political interest in this story, especially if he does testify before Congress. Potentially, social networks could be regulated. There's all sorts of implications. So we're going to monitor this really closely going forward. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not excited in that what they did was pretty horrible. I'm excited in that I'm just geek out on tech news and social media news, as you know. So really, what does that mean? Okay, so the movement's called Delete Facebook, hashtag Delete Facebook. I'm not sure if it has legs. Like I said before, I don't know if it's just people that are clearly coming from positions of privilege where they don't need their Facebook account to connect with people. They're not isolated. They don't live in remote parts of the world. Some people really rely on Facebook for community and to keep in touch with friends and family, this is a real thing. You might be scoffing, you might be laughing, but before it became saturated with ads and before all of these data breach scandals, it really was a place for people to look at photos of their grandkids, a place for people to find community and new moms to talk to other new moms and things like that. So I know that Zuckerberg wants it to go back to being that. I'm not sure if it ever could, but yeah, well, it remains to be seen. So Martin, thank you. Thanks for thanking me. Glad you're enjoying it. Yes. So there's lots of questions. I highly recommend an article by Jillian York. She is a writer for Slate magazine. She's incredible. She talks about how this delete Facebook movement, without viable alternatives, it's certainly just for people that have the ability to delete it. Just kind of like what I was talking about before. I can post the link. I'll post the link to her great article in the comments. She wrote, "What delete Facebook means is truly listening to people who are concerned about closing their accounts, acknowledging their experiences, and building tools and movements that can fulfill their needs." So as nonprofit and social do-gooders, we know what that means, okay? We see a need and we fill it, or we help people, we connect people. So it remains to be seen what the role of nonprofits are going to be in all of this. But it's certainly a news story worth keeping an eye on for sure. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to walk you through 4 simple ways that you can do, 4 simple ways that you can spring clean your personal Facebook profile, and then a few ways you can spring clean your Facebook page. So if you're really uncomfortable about the data that Facebook is collecting on you, you can export it. Okay, so this is how you export it. You can download your info. You go to this Facebook. I would literally Google, how do I export my Facebook data? And it walks you through it. So if you decide to delete like huge swaths of your history, you can still have access to your posts and your memories and your photos and things like that. They just won't be on Facebook, but you'll still have access to them. So this is how you do it. How do I download my information, settings, download copy for Facebook data, start my archive? It takes a long time. You can learn about what's included in the download. Can I pick and choose? So if this is something you want to do, or even you're thinking about deleting Facebook, I would absolutely recommend downloading your info. That's number 1, exporting your information. Number 2, you can find out who has your Facebook data and sort of what they're doing with it a little bit by looking at the list of advertisers who've obtained your contact information from Facebook. So you go to facebook.com/ads/preferences, and that's how you will learn why you're seeing certain ads. But you'll also learn a lot more about the data that Facebook has on you. I'm not very bothered by this. I don't care if Facebook knows that I like, Autism Speaks and the American Heart Association and Social Media Examiner. That doesn't bother me, but it might bother you. So look, news and entertainment, it knows all my interests. These are all pages that I've either liked or interacted with. Travel, people, hobbies and activities. It's interesting. The disability rights movement, dogs, that's interesting. Not that I don't like dogs. I don't have a dog. So it's very interesting. You can kind of see exactly, advertisers you've interacted with, your information, your relationship status. You can manage whether we show you ads intended to reach people based on these profile fields. I like ads that are relevant to me. That's just me, but you can change all of this. Hide ad topics, how they work. So I really recommend that you go into ads and preferences and check that out if you don't want to be giving advertisers, any access to your data. Okay, number 3, something you can do to sort of tighten your privacy settings on Facebook. You can review all the apps that are connected to your Facebook account. So what does that mean? So for instance, when I go to Spotify, I log in with my Facebook. when I go to the New York Times, I log in with my Facebook. I log in to a lot of things with my Facebook account, not like my bank account or my PayPal or anything like that, but news sites, other social media sites, that kind of thing. So if you want to review the list of apps that you've connected to your Facebook account and then remove any, this is exactly how to do that. It's pretty easy. You just go to that little arrow that's in the top right corner when you log into Facebook, settings and apps. You can remove an app. You can adjust the privacy settings. So they want to give you a lot of control over the apps that you've connected to your account, because this is where the, quote unquote data breach happens. So they claim it wasn't a data breach. They claim everything was above board. Facebook does. But this is how Cambridge Analytica acquired the data on 50 million users, because it was scraped from an app that certain users had given access to, and then their friends' data was also taken. So it's clearly more complicated than that, but that's the little TLDR, too long didn't read version. So that's a very simplified version. But want to make sure that you are not connected to any apps and games anymore. This is what you do. All right, so that's number 3. Number 4, I highly recommend using a password manager like LastPass or Dashlane. Dashlane is what I use. Dashlane is an app, and Dashlane is also on your desktop. It saves all your passwords. Of course, you can save them in a Google Doc or Evernote or whatever you want to do, Dropbox. But the more likely you are to be creating individual passwords, and you're more likely to forget them. So you're more likely to just hit that, okay, I'll log in with Facebook to this particular app, or I'll log into Facebook with Spotify. I'll log into Facebook to log in to this particular app or this particular news site. So if you are concerned about data and data sharing practices, you want to make sure you're never using that log into sites with Facebook button. And you're more likely to do that if you don't know your passwords. So use a password manager. All right, great. So those are the top 4 that I really recommend. And now we're going to go through top 4 for your personal profile, tightening up your privacy, cleaning up your profile a little bit in terms of privacy settings. So what can you do with your nonprofit Facebook page? So your nonprofit Facebook page is for marketing. It's for marketing and fundraising. It's your forward-facing presence on Facebook to your community. So you're not going to be tightening up your privacy settings because you want it to be found. You want more people to find it and connect with you. That's kind of the point of it, right? You want more people to be able to comment on it and share and engage with you. So you wouldn't be cleaning up your privacy settings, but you will be spring cleaning a little bit of the aesthetics, the way your page looks, right? So this is how my page looks. And actually, I need to do all of this spring cleaning myself because I've had the same cover photo for a while now. So the first thing that you can do just to kind of spruce it up and make it fresh for spring, I would do this every quarter at least, is change your cover photo. So of course you know how to do that. Choose from photos, choose from videos. Now, Facebook video covers are really, really cool looking. They move, they catch the eye, they look great on mobile. So if you have the opportunity to create a Facebook cover video, then absolutely, I would do it. Abraham says, do you have any favorite password managers? While I was in the banking industry, it was widely discouraged to use one as all your passwords were in one place. Thanks for the help and the live videos. Oh, thank you. I use Dashlane, and I really like Dashlane. So some people use LastPass. If anyone else has suggestions in terms of password managers that they use that they like, I mean, I don't know. I like having all my passwords in one place. They're kind of all over the place, if I'm going to be honest with you. But the key is to give that information also to another person. So for instance, I give it to my husband, so he has my he has my Dashlane information. But I don't have a problem with having them all in one place. It's encrypted. They encourage you to change your main password all the time. So obviously you have to write that one down, because can you imagine if you forgot your main password, all your passwords? But the good thing about Dashlane is I'm less tempted to log in with just Facebook or Google, because I know I have an ability to remember an individual password, if that makes any sense. Erica says, going back to cover videos, thanks for the question, Abraham. Erica says, the only issue we've run into with our cover videos is that the first shot is what gets used as an image for Facebook fundraisers. That's right. So what I would do in that case is give people cover art if they are creating a Facebook fundraiser for you, as much as you can monitor that. Create something really quick, like in Canva. Create, maybe a whole slew, like a Facebook cover gallery that you can pull, that people can pull from, and just say, hey, we're so happy that you're going to do a Facebook fundraiser for us. We want to take the stress out of creating the images. Here's some Facebook cover photos we've created for you. And of course, you can completely customize anything like this in Canva. You can change, the wording and the text. You can switch it all around, switch the fonts, put your logo, put whatever you want to put in here. And I would do that. I would save, a gallery of options to make sure that they have some options. But if people do a lot of Facebook fundraisers for you and you do find that to be an issue, then maybe not uploading a video and seeing what that does. Maybe having that one perfect kind of cover photo that people are going to pull from, and everything's going to look the same. But that is a really good point, because if someone creates a Facebook fundraiser for you on your nonprofit's behalf and they don't upload an image, it will take your Facebook page cover photo or a frame of your video. So Erica, thank you. That was a really, really good point. So this is the first impression. Change it up. The other thing that I would love for more nonprofits to do is to add this caption, add a call to action. So many times I click on a cover photo for a nonprofit's Facebook page and there's no caption. This is such wasted real estate if you don't have a call to action. Go to our website to learn more. Sign up for our email newsletter. Join our fundraising campaign. Volunteer. Whatever it is you want them to do, have a call to action if they click on this cover photo. So all you do is just click on the cover photo and then it will say edit. And then you can edit it. So very, very easy. Make sure you're adding locations if possible, if you are a location-based organization, because Facebook loves that. Facebook loves to show local causes and events and happenings to people locally. They're really pushing that right now. So if you are a local organization or you hold any events that have an actual brick and mortar or a location, like run or a walk or a fundraiser, make sure you're adding your location, because Facebook will be more likely to show it to more people. It will show up in more news feeds if you do that. Adding a video, we just talked about that. I can actually add some examples of Facebook cover videos. I'm trying to think of nonprofits that have a great Facebook cover video, and I can't think of one off the top of my head. But if you know some examples, please share them with me. I know a lot that have great cover photos, but not great cover videos. Okay, the next thing you want to do, make sure you update your pinned post, okay? So your pinned post, I have this as my pinned post, or pinned to the top of page. I guess I didn't have a pinned post, but edit your pinned post, because if I'm going to go to your Facebook page and I see a pinned post from a month ago, it's the first thing I see besides your cover photo. I'm going to wonder, are you active on Facebook? What are you doing? Same with Twitter. Please change your pinned tweet. Unless you have like Lady Gaga retweeting you or something like that. Then you can have that pinned post up forever. But please change it. It's the first thing people see, and people look at the date and then they immediately think, oh, has this page not been updated for a week or months? Okay, rearrange the tabs. Why not just, rearrange your tabs? So you could have videos up top. If you're a nonprofit, you could have fundraisers. So let me show you an example. My friends at the Polaris Project, my friend Joseph Gallant, let's see, Polaris. What they do is they have their fundraisers as their first tab, because this is something that they're promoting. This is something that they're actively encouraging. They're raising a lot of money doing it, and they want it to be one of the first things you see when you come to their page. Create, you can join a fundraiser. These are all the fundraisers that have been happening. So in their tab order, fundraisers, about, events, photos. So you can change the order of all of these tabs. And I definitely would explore changing the order of the tabs, probably quarterly, just to kind of freshen up the page, make it look new. You're probably working on something different than you were 3 months ago. Every quarter, I'm sure you have a different focus or a different organizational goal. So you definitely want to do that. Okay, so we're going to go back to my page. I also recommend changing the call to action button, which is here. So you can edit this button. If you had a donate button for 3 months and it didn't really work, no one was donating, then you might want to change it to sign up, or you might want to change it to learn more, or, join the Facebook group, something like that. I think that that's a really good way to just do something a little bit different. You can also test all of these things out and see how they work. And every 3 months, see which one gets the most traction and then change it back to that. And then, kind of keep that as the rest of the year. So see it as kind of a sandbox and a testing ground for your calls to action. Another thing I would do, register for Facebook payments, donations.fb.com. Because if you're planning to raise money on Facebook in any kind of way in the fall or the winter for year end, you need to be registered with Facebook's fundraising tools. Whether or not you're ever going to use them, you're not going to be penalized for having them. So sign up and just make it sort of a goal that you will sign up, you'll register, you'll get all your paperwork, you'll get everything in order so that you can use them if you need them. 2 more things I'd recommend. Look at your about section. And these are all things that I haven't done in months, and I actually need to do it. What category are you? Of course, you have to be the category of nonprofit organization if you want to register with Facebook payments. Business details, is your mission still the same? Your contact information, who are your team members, milestones, all of that. Make sure you have more than one administrator on your page, please, so that I don't get a frantic call saying, how can I log into my Facebook page? Our staff member left and deleted her Facebook account, and now we can't get in. Have more than one administrator. I only have one administrator. So do as I say, not as I do. It's a very parental thing to say, but I'm just going to say it to you. I need to get another administrator, because what if my Facebook account was hacked? I wouldn't be able to log into my page. So that's kind of alarming. Another thing I would recommend is to check out Messenger. So I don't think I have any private messages in here. This is my business inbox. And what you can do is you can set up an automatic response. So say it's a really busy time, or say you're running a marathon or a walk or something like that. Let's see. Where is it? You can send an automated reply. So if it's the day of a race, or if it's the day of a fundraiser, you might be getting a lot of notifications. You might not be able to monitor all of them. I would set up an automatic response in Facebook Messenger that just says, hey, this is race day. All the information can be found at our website. If you desperately need to reach me, or reach somebody, here's the office number. Just know that, of course, no one reads anything. No one reads. If you say this on your Facebook page, if you say it 50,000 times, they're still going to contact you the way they want to contact you if they have a question. So I would I'd go into Messenger and set up that, sort of auto response. I don't think I would respond automatically to absolutely every inquiry you get in your inbox. It does kind of look kind of weird and spammy and like an out of office message, but definitely if it's not going to be monitored. This is important also for organizations that provide like suicide help and domestic violence hotlines, and you're not monitoring your Facebook, you should be monitoring it over the weekends. But if you're just not able to monitor it 24/7, you should have an autoresponder that says our 24-hour hotline is open, call our 24-hour hotline. Because you don't want someone to email you at 3 a.m. via Messenger and then not get it until 7 or 8 a.m. the next morning. That's what you don't want. So make sure when you're doing the spring cleaning, you're checking your Messenger platform, you're checking your settings there, figuring out if you do need to set up an autoresponder in certain cases. All right, so that's all I have for you today. I'd love to take your questions. If you do have questions, of course, I'll always answer them after. A couple things. I have a longer blog post about how to spring clean all of your social media accounts, including Twitter, Instagram. Oh, I didn't do Pinterest. I should do Pinterest. LinkedIn and YouTube. I can put that in the comments. And next week, I'm really excited because I am going to have Jennifer Chang of Mental Health America and Joseph Gallant of the Polaris Project. They're going to come on the show with me, and we're going to talk about our upcoming session for the Nonprofit Technology Conference, all about Facebook fundraising tools. And they're going to talk a little bit about, because we don't want to give away the store here for our presentation, but they're going to talk a little bit about how they got set up with the tools and the success that they've had, because they have both had amazing success, their organizations, using Facebook fundraising tools. So we're going to talk about that, can ask them questions. I'm so happy that they're going to be on. So that's next week at noon, April 6th, Friday at noon. We're going to be live taking your questions and talking about Facebook fundraising, one of my favorite topics. Okay, well, thanks you all for joining me. I know it's Good Friday. I know a lot of you have the day off. I know a lot of you are taking a long weekend, so I appreciate you showing up today. I hope you found it helpful. And as usual, I'm here every Friday at noon, ET, Eastern Time, taking your questions, talking about social media, talking about the best way to get visibility for your organization. All right, I will talk to you next week. Thank you so much. Cheers.